Hello, we are at V-TEAM's garden today, and this is Mrs. Krane, the teacher that started Olive Garden Club.
Hi Abby, it's so good to be here. I'm glad you could come tonight.
Me too. Now I'm going to ask you a few questions. Why did you start Garden Club?
Okay. Well, the garden club actually was the idea of another teacher, Mrs. Hildebrand, who retired a long time ago. She wanted to have ponds and all kinds of beautiful wetlands for the kids. But she retired, and so a few other teachers and I got together and came up with the idea of how can we make our gardens beautiful. Mrs. Johnston, who's also retired, worked very hard with me, and we had a committee of kids from our school, and we planned what we'd like to have in the garden. The kids said they wanted to have a pond, they wanted to have a vegetable garden, they wanted to have lots of flowers. So that's what we did. We worked with Mr. Millen from Buildings and Grounds, and he drew up a big plan. One of the kids on the committee, Corinne Klink, had a dad who does concrete work. Okay? Her dad volunteered to organize all the labor.
All of the labor?
All of the labor. Volunteered, yes. Okay. The Lions Club of Brook Park raised the money to pay for the concrete work. And for a whole summer, we probably had 20 or 30 volunteers out here doing all the hard work. All volunteers. Yep. We didn't pay anybody.
That's a lot.
It is. Once the concrete work was done, we got a lot more volunteers who brought in 2 giant truckloads of dirt. And they worked on their days off and brought all the dirt in, and we planted bushes and flowers and trees. And then after that, we needed a garden club to keep it all going. So Mrs. Johnson and I worked with the kids, got everything organized, and we've been running Garden Club for about 10 years now.
Wow. For a whole 10 years. And then what days do you have Garden Club?
Okay. Well, during the school year, we've been having it Mondays after school and Thursday nights. Okay. And the best part is lots of kids come and they bring their parents and their grandparents. And we actually take care of 4 gardens around the school.
Wow, that's a lot of gardens.
It is.
Do you plan to ever stop Garden Club, or do you plan to always have it welcome to everybody?
I always want to keep it welcome to everybody. I won't be teaching here forever, so I'm hoping that other teachers and other grown-ups will step in, and when I retire someday, that they'll take up the Garden Club too, because I just think it's a beautiful place for kids.
It is.
It is. And some kids had so much fun, they even come back in high school and middle school to help.
Wow, that's a long time.
It is.
So how long have you done Garden Club after all the hard work and everything? Like, when was probably, like, what year would you say was probably the first time that the kids came in and you did it as a group?
Okay, well, we built the garden in the year 2000. And then in the year 2001, we started Garden Club. So I guess it's been 9 years of Garden Club.
That's almost as old as I am.
Yes, you were a baby.
Yes. Why do you choose to have adult helpers come in and help out the kids with it?
Well, that way we can have more kids helping, because we work with scissors and we work with shovels, and we want to keep everybody safe. And it really helps to have a lot of grown-ups there, so that we make sure the plants are planted right side up and that people know the difference between weeds and flowers when they're working out in the gardens. And it's wonderful to just sit and talk with the grown-ups afterwards.
Yeah. So what do you guys do after Garden Club? Anything, or are you just like, thanks for coming, bye now, see you next week? Or what do you do anything afterwards?
Well, that's our special secret, isn't it, Abby? We always have ice cream and we sit and talk. And then at the end of our big growing seasons, we have a pizza party too.
So what do you do with the vegetables? What do you do with the vegetables that you've planted here in the garden?
Good question. A lot of the vegetables we take over to the Brook Park Reach, which is the hunger center for Brook Park. If it's not open at a time that we have vegetables, we also give it to church hunger centers, and they pass out the vegetables. The pumpkins have been given to a lot of preschool classes because they came out here on a safari. So we let them take pumpkins as souvenirs, and we'll be giving the rest of the pumpkins to the school raffle for Pumpkins for Good Behavior. So we'll do that too.
Let's see. Where are the locations in the school of the Garden Club? Is it just here and then you have one outside of the school, or how do you have the gardens all laid out?
Well, we actually have 4 gardens. The children's garden is our biggest garden. We also have the office garden, which has picnic tables and umbrellas, and it has a lovely fountain that was given by the Donnelly family in honor of Mrs. Donnelly, who passed away a few years ago. We have the front door gardens that you see right when you pull up, and then we also take care of all the flowers by the BPM sign.
At the very front when you first
Right.
drive into the driveway. Let's see. Is there any garden club times that kids can come in their adult helper other than just the school year?
We work all summer long because that's the time we've got to keep things watered and weeded and growing. And so during the summer, we work on Monday mornings and again on Thursday nights. People always know if it's Thursday night, they can come up to Garden Club.
So what about on the summer one? Do you guys just work at the gardens, or do you guys go in other places around the community, or do you just focus on our gardens?
We primarily focus on our garden, but in the middle of May, there's a Clean Up Brook Park or Beautify Brook Park Day, and we go over to Kennedy Park, and we're in charge of planting all of the flowers at the police, firefighters, and servicemen's memorials. We take care of that.
It's a lot of flowers.
It is, and the City of Brook Park has been wonderful about providing the flowers for us, and Councilwoman Patty Astorino has been wonderful. And I do have to mention that the Berea Garden Club has been a wonderful sponsor for us. Every year they've made donations so that we can buy more flowers to beautify our gardens.
Oh wow, that's nice.
It really is.
So do you ever have when you retire from working at the schools, do you have a teacher in mind that you would like to kind of take over?
Well, there are several teachers who offer to help me, so I'm hoping that over time they'll get interested and they'll say, I want to do it next.
Okay, that's nice. So you just kind of have like a group of teachers that are just kind of like, hey, I'll come in and help us.
In fact, during the summer, teachers volunteer every single week to come in and water all the flowers by the front door gardens, so that always looks beautiful too.
Oh, that's nice. Do you garden at home?
Actually, my husband takes care of all the gardening at home.
Well, that's surprising.
No, not really, because he's my number one volunteer here, and he's partly retired, so he's got a little bit more time than I do to take care of things.
True. I was thinking that if you had a garden, that you'd probably be the one that was.
No, it's his job, and it looks beautiful.
I bet you're probably the gardening couple.
I think so. Thanks, Abby.
You're welcome.